Morning, yogis. We'll be working on our knees again. We sort of started that last week a little bit, but we really focused more on the feet as we attempted to make sure we grounded the feet evenly on both sides to avoid pronation or supination, as when we do that habitually, it can translate into problems up the kinetic chain to the next joint, like the ankle, the knee, then the hip or the lower back. So kind of coming up the leg, focusing a little bit more on the knees, and then maybe Saturday we'll get into our hips a little bit. So we'll do what's called quadriceps. You'll start in Tadasana, the staff pose, where you make an L with the body. If it feels comfortable, you could sit up on a little cushion if you want. Especially if you have a tendency to round, you want to keep your torso upright. So if you sit up on a little cushion, you can give a little forward tilt to the pelvis. So that's one thing that you could do with your blanket. And you could use a blanket, a rolled up yoga mat, or even a pillow to bring underneath your leg, like just underneath your knee. So that one will be able to extend the leg and lift it off the earth. So that's where we're going. All right, so get set up for that in a moment, and then we'll just get right into it, doing the quadriceps, and then I can talk about what's really happening. So you'll extend the leg, lift the leg, extending through the heel, and feel there's engagement of the muscles that support the knee. The two sets of quadricep muscles on either side of the knee that support the knee, and then you can lower and then lift and extend, and really feel those muscles engage. Now, these muscles, they do really go up to the inner thigh, the inner and the outer thigh. And, they're called the vastus medialis on the inside, and it kind of comes up into the inner thigh. So you're going to feel it maybe most strongly. I feel it to maybe 2 or 3 fingers to the inside of my knee on the left, the inner side. And then the vastus lateralis, the outside. And they could become weak, even really just due to the shape of our legs. Like, it tends to be that the hip joint is wider than the knee joint. So this could put strain on the knees and cause generally like a weakness on that inner muscle. But see what you can notice as you lift and engage the leg. Feel those muscles are firing. If not, give them a tap, wake them up, do your best. And notice even how the kneecap, the patella kind of tracks. Hopefully it's tracking straight. If you notice in your leggings, like that your knee, or if you have shorts on so you can really see, the kneecap goes in or out. Here we go, let's someone else coming in. You're going to, then that's a sign of weakness. So maybe, like I said, the inner muscles are a little weak, or the outer muscles are weak, depending on your habitual stance, your activity, your skeletal structure. So keep going a few times and see if you can really feel the engagement. And then you can pause. Let's do one more set of it because it's really good. And this is really similar. So when you're ready, just, have another round, extending, drawing the toes in, really feeling like you feel those muscles fire. We did this a little bit last week when we did it standing. So we did it while we were balancing, which made it a little extra challenging. So, but this could be done quite easily while you're sitting in a chair. Just find a nice chair that's level with your hips, and extend the leg and lift it on the side of a bed. And then we'll even have one example while we do it standing, just so that you can do it anywhere, like standing in line, standing around in your house. Okay, so maybe 2 more. And then the other set. Now we're going to focus on the inner quadricep, that vastus medialis. So again, it's like the inside of the knee, kind of up in here. You're going to feel it maybe up into the thigh. So because it tends to be, that's the one that gets a little weak from, say, excessive sitting, or is said, again, because of our body shape generally. It's a little bit hourglass, hips are wider than the knees. But if it's the outer quad, that vastus lateralis that's affected, you could do like clamshells or leg lifts or things to strengthen that. We're not going to do that so much today, but that's something that you could do if you found that you needed that. All right, so now let's just turn the leg a little bit, the toes out. So you're kind of on this little angle, and we'll do the same thing, but really isolating and feeling that we're activating that muscle there, inside. Good. And then lower, and then extend. Now, if it's a little weak, it might be really hard. You might not even notice. You're like, oh, I don't even think anything's happening. So, touch it. Make sure it's engaging. Maybe keep the knee a little soft. Turn the toes out a little more. Even lift a little higher to feel that you're getting at that area. Now this next time, let's keep it lifted, and now let's add just a little teeny bit of pulse. So you have to put your hands behind you for support. Go ahead. Just let a little pulse, a little lift. So you can even do leg lifts. Good, and then release and pause and notice. So we do those sometimes. Maybe we'll do them Saturday. Now, when you're ready, we could just go right to the other side. So you can slide that blanket or bolster, whatever you're using, underneath your opposite leg. Let this leg relax after all that good work. And then when you're ready, do your quad sets. Just extending through the heel, lifting the leg. Extending through the heel, lifting the leg. I know I need this because I heard the little popping in my knee. Often, but not always. I mean, not a doctor. So, but it can be that because the patella doesn't track evenly, if there's a little weakness on those ligaments or those muscles, the patella can kind of glide a little bit, which could contribute to that popping sound. So that's why we want to keep those muscles really strong. And again, feel the inner and the outer muscles. Maybe notice the kneecap. Is it kind of tracking in the groove evenly? Okay, so keep going. Maybe 2 more. Take a pause, and then we'll do 1 more set. I'll take a pause. Yeah. And so when we do our standing poses, we're going to bring particular awareness to them, because all of our yoga poses, our warriors, our triangles in particular, they could really strengthen these muscles. So we're going to pay attention to that a little bit more today. When you're ready, let's do another set. So extending through the heel, lifting the leg. And then right, and pause. Now let's externally rotate that leg a little bit so the toes kind of drop out. And then when you're ready, we'll extend the leg and feel that we're really isolating the internal muscle. What's often called the VMO. So you can really engage, maybe even touch it again to make sure that that muscle's engaging. Notice if you feel it anywhere else, and see if you can bring the awareness to, to that area, that inner, and as it contracts up into the inner thigh. That's where we're going to see it come into play, I think, a little bit more in our warriors, our standing poses. Now the next time, lift the leg and hold, and then maybe you can add some pulsation, even if you have to bring your hands back a little for support. And then release and move your blanket out of the way. I think we don't need it today. And then find your Tadasana. Notice how that felt. You can even do it without the blanket for a moment. Let's just do it with both legs for a moment. So we don't have that lift, which makes it a little easier. You'll just extend through the heels, drawing the toes back and seeing if you can engage both muscles. Okay, you can then release and then squeeze. Hold the contraction for maybe 10 seconds. And then release. So again, there's a lot of ways to do this. And last one. Good, and then release. And you can keep some engagement as you sit up here in your Dandasana. Grounding sits bones, toning belly, lengthening through crown of head. Now let's do a little spinal mobilization. If you need to change your seating position, like crossing the legs or anything else, feel free to do that. We'll take a seated cat-cow to mobilize the spine. So with our hands on our thighs, inhale, lift your heart, maybe lift your gaze, leading with your chin to take an extension. And then on your exhale, round the spine, draw the pelvic floor in, the navel back, your chin to chest maybe. And then continue like that. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhale. And exhale. Go at your own pace. Maybe 2 more rounds. Looping the shoulders down the back. Seeing if you can extend the breath past the movement. And then come on up to seated. Nice, all right. Now let's take a big sun breath and we'll do some side bending and then twist. So arms out to the sides, up to the sky, get long here. Inhale, and then exhale, fold over to the right. Lowering your right arm down. You could even use a block if that feels more comfortable. And then left arm reaches upward. Keep the left sit bone grounded and fold to the right. Notice how that feels. Keep, you could add a little pulsation. If it's a little tight, you can come in and out of it with your breath. And then maybe you can hold, finding more length on that left side, even spinning your heart and gaze towards the sky. Taking one more breath here, and then we'll rise up, get long, and fold over to the other side. Again, using the block if you want. Finding so much length on the right side, take it over to the left, maybe even pulsating. Nice to think about the poses as alive like we are, so they can flow. You can flow with your breath. Reaching all the way up to the sky, spinning your heart open. Taking one more breath here. And then let's inhale and rise up, get long again. Tone the belly. And then lower your arms to shoulder height, turn your palms down. We're going to keep our arms out like a T for this twist, unless it doesn't feel comfortable for you. So tone the belly, start the rotation from your core, rotating to the right. You can keep your arms extended wide to the side. You can kind of come out of it a little bit and then go into it. So again, add the pulsation, inhaling and exhaling, deepening the twist. And then finally, hold the fullest expression of your twist. Feel that you're wringing out your belly, wringing out the organs, getting the digestion kind of going for the day. building up heat and fire in your belly. One more breath, and then de-rotate, and then we'll go the other direction. Again, modifying your arms if necessary. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Hold for 1 or 2 more breath cycles. And then slowly unwind and then float your hands down onto the earth. Nice job. Let's roll over toward our left side. Bend your knees, your hands. Come into a tabletop pose. And then send your hands a little forward of the shoulders. Curl your toes under, keeping your knees nicely bent. Send your hips to the sky for a nice easy dog pose. So we want to ground the hands, work up the body, the torso as we lift the hips skyward. Now, if you want for the first round, you might want to add a little movement here, whether it's spinal mobilization or pedaling your feet. Anything that feels comfortable for you. Just kind of wiggle it out. Notice where your dog is today. And now let's focus on our quadriceps here in our dog pose. We talked about this a little bit the last couple of weeks, about the engagement of the fronts of the legs, allowing for a release in the backs of the legs. All right, so let's bend our knees deeply, or even roll up onto the balls of your feet if you want. That might feel nice, so that you can lift your hips high. Bend your knees and lift your hips even higher. So you're almost like a little tiger pounce, like you want to pounce forward. Right? Now keep lifting the hips, and then start to straighten your legs as you engage the fronts of your legs, the quadriceps on either side of your knee, like we did before in the quad sets. Let the heels lower. Tone your belly. Keep lifting your hips. Good. Noticing the difference. Notice how it feels when you engage the fronts of your legs. Good. Now take another breath. And then we'll bend our knees, maybe not lifting your hips so much, but just bend your knees, not lifting your heels, but do lift your hips. Keep your knees bent, and then start to engage the fronts of your legs as you bring your legs towards straighter. The heels lower, the back body relaxes. Take one more breath. And then look up towards your hands. Walk, step your feet to your hands into a forward fold for a moment. You can hang here, or you can lift your torso up to heart height. You can even release your arms, hold on to opposite elbows, give a little dangle to the arms. Ragdoll, if that feels comfortable. Make circles with your arms. Shake your head yes or no. Let's get some more movement in our shoulders and our neck. Good. And then we'll release our arms, let them dangle down. Bend your knees until your belly's on your thighs. Lift your chest. Put the weight into your heels, really engaging the legs, and use your strong legs to rise up. You can send your arms out to the side, rise all the way up to standing. Hands come to prayer, and prayer comes to our hearts. And notice how you're feeling now. So we can always come out of our postures, out of a chair, with a lot of leg engagement, and then that's a really great way to strengthen our quadriceps. So think about that every time you stand up out of a chair, plant your feet firmly on the earth, press the earth away, and use your quadricep muscles to stand up. All right, so let's do a couple more warm-ups for our spine, our all-over body. We'll start in Dandasana. So find your Dandasana. Again, grounding every point of your feet. Big toe mounds, pinky toe mounds, in or outer heel. And then as you ground your feet, engage the muscles of your legs. Like do your quad sets here. Really engage the muscles of your legs. And you can even release. Feel the kneecaps lift. Maybe even you can slightly notice, or you can do this in a mirror to track that the kneecaps are lifting straight. So in this way, we can do our quad sets anywhere. Good. Nice. All right. One more round, really lifting. And now we'll do some forward bends and extensions. So take a big inhale, arms out to the sides, up to the sky. Nice. And then send your arms back behind you and find yoga mudra. So you can keep your elbows bent if you need to, but whatever you do, draw elbows and shoulder blades together. If you can extend the arms, that's fine too. And then through your grounded feet, press your hips forward, lift your sternum, maybe lift your gaze. Take an extension here. And breathe. Take an extra breath. And on the next exhale, soften your knees, come forward, spill forward until your belly's on your thighs. Keep drawing shoulder blades together, lifting a little fist off the back if you can, as you bring your legs towards straighter. Always feeling free to modify and keep your head at heart height if that feels better. And then bend your knees again, belly on your thighs, lift your chest. So you're coming into sort of an Utkatasana with Yoga Mudra arms. Use your strong legs to press the earth away, just like I talked about. Good. And then you can release your arms up to shoulder height, bring them forward and one over top of each other and reach back until your hands can give yourself a hug and maybe even reach your scapula. Give yourself a nice hug and allow the scapula to draw apart after them having just been together in the Yoga Mudra. That feels good. And then release. So now, as we do that one more time, we'll switch our hand position in each, in our arm position in each movement. So when you're ready, grounding through the legs, getting long, Urdhva Hastasana. Arms wide to the side, bring your palms back together, interlacing your hands into your non-habitual Yoga Mudra. Drawing elbows toward each other, shoulder blades together, starting from the ground up, engaging legs, pressing hip points forward, lifting your heart, lifting your gaze. Take an extension. Breathing here. And then start to come back towards straighter. Soften your knees, hinge forward, keeping your head at heart height or going all the way down. And then bring your legs towards straighter as you lift the little fist off your back if possible. If not, just keep the elbows bent and bring the elbows closer toward each other. Shoulder blades closer toward each other. And then let's bend our knees, belly on thighs, lift the chest. Strong legs will rise us up, press the earth away to lift, release your arms to shoulder height, opposite hug. Seeing if you can grab the scapula this time. Good, and breathe. Nice work. And then release your arms, palms facing forward, lifting your heart. Nice Tadasana. Notice how you're feeling now. Good. So let's go into some standing poses, and we will start on our right side. You're not going to need a block today for this, I don't believe, but you might want to have them handy just in case. Okay, so we're going to get into our standing poses through Utkatasana. So as someone pointed out, I have a habit of shifting, in order to shift my weight backwards, I really lift my heels, and I've kind of got into that habit, and that's fine to do. You can keep your toes down. What did I say, lift my heels? I send my weight toward my heels and I lift my toes. Sorry, and I spread my toes wide. You can do that if that feels okay for you. Doesn't matter, but the major thing is you don't want to ever grip your toes in any of the poses, because then it could cause some strain, or you might even feel pain in your knees. So just notice that. So from our Tadasana, let's bend our knees. You can sweep your fingers towards the earth, and then you could send your arms forward at shoulder height or up at a little higher at a 45-degree angle. So shifting the weight back, make sure you can see your toes. Tailbone's drawing down. Good, belly's toned. Nice strong knees, the quads around the knees here. Notice them firing up here. Good. Now stay here in this posture and we're going to add a twist. So I'm going to twist to, let me see, what am I going to do here? I am going to twist to the right because I want to have my right leg forward. So send your left arm to the outside of the right leg and the right arm back and take your twist here. So, not a deep prayer twist. We're just using the extended left arm as leverage. The hips and legs stay forward. We find the rotation from the belly, just like we did in our seated Tadasana. Breathing across the chest, seeing if you can deepen that twist. Now stay here in your twist. Look down at your right foot. Pick up your left leg. And then start to send it back. Send it back, maybe slow if you can. It's a balance challenge. Extending the leg and then lowering it down and find now your twist. You can even rotate your gaze to the right again. Take one more breath and then unwind out of your twist. Send your arms up towards the sky, Virabhadrasana 1. Now settle into your Vira 1, making sure the right knee is over the ankle, left leg is engaged, belly's toned. Bend your elbows and take your Devyasa arms, squeezing the shoulder blades together, broad across your chest. Staying here or lifting your heart and gaze and taking an extension if you choose. And then coming back up through center, let's bring our hands to prayer at heart center. Plant the back foot at a 45-degree angle. Open up your hips and torso to that long side of your mat, and then shoot your right arm forward, left arm back. Now here's where we notice any kind of instability in the knee, or a tendency to pronate or supinate the foot. So do you have a tendency to roll that foot or knee in? If you do, let's see if we can correct that now. Maybe shortening your stance and drawing that knee towards the pinky toe side of the foot, even if you have to turn your toes out. So see if you can do that. And then feel the engagement of the leg. Maybe even coming out of your pose a little bit so you can engage that a little bit more strongly. Okay. So settle into your warrior 2. Arms wide to the side. One more breath here. Keeping your hips over your shoulders too. A lot of times in these poses, there's this tendency to do this. So notice if you feel like you're reaching forward a little bit with your chest. Keep it right over your hips. Yeah, good, good. Now straighten the right leg. Okay, we're gonna reverse the warrior. Before we do, let's see as we bring that leg towards straighter, see if you can watch the muscles of your quadricep engage and see that kneecap track upward straightly. This will be important. And maybe you're gonna notice how those quads kind of go into the inner thigh. Can you feel it there? Hopefully we're gonna feel the inner thigh, maybe the outer thigh working a little more here. Lower left hand down, right arm up to sky, and then fold it back. Reversing our triangle, you can look up at your right hand or down at your left foot. See what might feel nice in your neck right now. One more breath, and then come on back up to the starting position, getting ready for triangle pose. I'm stepping in just a teeny tiny touch for my triangle, and then I'm going to engage the muscles of my knee. Feel that, those muscles, the inner and outer thigh are working. The kneecap is tracking upward. So see if you can align that, engage that, and then tuck your right hip under, reaching forward, lower the right arm down, left arm up to the sky. And still feel that the inner thigh is working here. So see if you can put a little more attention on the front leg in this posture. Keep lengthening through the torso, spinning your heart open. Take one more breath here. And then with your strong legs, rise back up to the starting position. Bring your hands onto your hips and pivot your feet forward. Heels in, toes out. Lift your arms all the way up to a little bit higher than shoulder height. So we've got our 5-pointed star, or you can even go all the way up, and then exhale and squatting down into your Tadasana. Doing that a few times to adjust your stance. Feel that you're strengthening the muscles around the knee, shifting your weight towards the balls of, the heels of your feet. And again, and hold here. Now let's hold, good. Good. And now we're gonna make little gentle fists with our hands, and then bring your right arm in front of you and the left arm overhead. And then you can switch your arms, feeling a little shoulder mobility, flowing with your breath. Maybe adding a little teeny pulsation into the movement, but staying here with your strong legs. 2, and last time. Good. Nice. And now, strong legs rise you up. You can extend your arms, bring your hands onto your hips or into yoga mudra as you bring your toes in, heels out. Getting ready for our prasarita, our forward fold. Okay. So lifting your heart, lifting your gaze. You can take a little extension here. And then exhale as you come back forward, start to hinge from your hips. Lengthen and lower your torso to hip height. Pausing here, staying here, or continuing your exhale and going all the way down. See if you can squeeze the shoulder blades together, even if it means softening the elbows and lifting the little fist off the back. And breathe here. Take one more breath. And then release your hands onto the earth. They can stay right underneath your shoulders. They can take hold of the legs. Or we can come into a wide-legged down dog by walking your hands out, grounding the hands onto the earth, and sending your hips back. Do your best to get your hips in line with your knees and ankles. And so you feel that the lower body's on that one plane, you know, your legs are all in one plane, and then you're getting that length that we get in down dog here. So you're grounding hands and lifting hips to the sky, lengthening through each of your side waist, head between your arms, inner arms spinning upward. Getting a nice stretch. Can you also now engage the muscles that support the knee? Feel the inner thigh and the outer thighs working. Do you feel that one is more active than the other? One more breath. And let's walk our hands in. Walk our hands in. So they're underneath your shoulders, if they aren't already. Heel toe your feet together. Heel toe your feet together. Now let's stay in this forward fold where our legs are hips distance apart. Okay, now if you have to, you can bring your hands up onto blocks if you can't touch the earth easily, or you want to keep your head at heart height. Tone your belly, put your weight into your left leg, and then see if you can lift your right leg to the right. Try not to lift to left, and just lift that right leg as high as you can, and hold here and breathe. And then you can lower that leg down. Let's do that another time on that side. So still stay grounded into the left leg, pick up the right leg, and try not to let it track backwards so the toes are coming forward. And then lower that leg down, and we're going to switch. Right leg grounds, left leg lifts. Keep the toes coming forward, working the outer hip and the outer quad. Lower the leg down. One more time, lift the leg. Try not to lift to the right. Lower the leg down. Bend your knees until your belly's on your thighs. Go as far down as feels comfortable for you, keeping your heels grounded. You could send your arms forward Or even interlace your hands into a yoga mudra and then use your strong legs to rise yourself up, arms overhead, and then arms lap down wide to the side. Okay. There it is. All right. Good job. All right, so let's do the other side because that was so much fun. Let's do that again. So when you're ready, take a couple clearing breaths, and then let's squat down into our Utkatasana again. So finding Utkatasana and noticing you're engaging the muscles around the knees. Weight is shifted back towards the heels, so you're at least light on the toes. You're not gripping, tailbone's drawing down, belly's engaged. One more breath here. Next exhale, we're going to twist to the left. So right arm extends to the outside of the left leg. Left arm reaches back. Keep your hips and legs facing forward. Even look down at your knees. If that one knee pops out, then drop back. We want to find this rotation just from the belly. Noticing the difference from side to side. Take one more breath here. And now we're going to add a little balance challenge. So look down at your left foot, pick up the right leg, start to send it back, sort of like you're in a warrior 3, and then lower the leg down and go resume your twist. Maybe even, finding more rotation from your belly and rotate your gaze. Whoops. Whoa. Take one more breath here. And then unwind into your warrior 1. Making any adjustments to your legs. Seeing if you can engage the muscles around the knee. Keeping that knee right over your ankle. Strong back leg. Bend elbows to Tadasana, drawing shoulder blades together. Staying here or lifting your heart and gaze. Come back up through center. Bring your hands to prayer. Great, nice. And then from here, we'll plant the back foot. Open up hips and torso to the long side of our mat. Send left arm forward, right arm back. Nice, warrior 2. Let's check out that front knee. How are we doing with our knee? Is it, the knee kind of in line with the second to third toe? Maybe if it's drawing in, we're going to draw it outward a little bit, even turning our foot a little to compensate. Engaging the muscles. Shoulders over hips. Settling into our warrior 2 for one more breath cycle. Then we'll straighten the front leg with engagement. Feel the kneecap lift up the leg. Like look it down, check it out. See if you can feel that vastus medialis engage. The inner thigh engage a little bit more. Keeping that leg strong, lower right arm down, left arm up and back. Find your drishti at the hand or the foot. And coming back up to standing. All right, getting ready for triangle pose. Check out the knee again. Bring more engagement to the leg. Tuck the left hip under, reach forward with left arm in rib cage. Lower left arm down. Right arm to sky. Feel, again, the engagement of that muscle, the inner quadriceps. Lengthening the torso from either side. Spinning your heart open. One more breath. Inhale and exhale and rise up. Spin your toes to that long side of your mat, heels in, toes out, arms skyward, bend elbows and knees, Tadasana sequence a couple of times. Inhale and rising up. Exhale, squatting down. Good. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, squatting down and holding here. Check out your knees. Maybe this isn't one where they can really collapse in. So you want to make sure they're drawing out. Maybe adjust your feet, maybe shorten your stance. Staying here, making little fists, left arm in front, right arm overhead, and switch. And switch. And flow with your breath. And 2 more. And last time. And now we will rise all the way up. Come back through our 5-pointed star as you bring your hands to your hips or yoga mudra, maybe in the non-habitual way. Toes in, heels out for prasarita. Press your hips forward, lift your heart, lift your gaze. And then exhale, hinge forward, pausing when your torso is at hip height, staying here or going all the way down. One more breath. And then slowly release your hands down to the earth. Taking your prasarita with hands under shoulders. Padottanasana when you grab the feet. Or you could take a wide-legged dog. See what feels comfortable for you, but see if you can really lift up the kneecaps. Engage the muscles of the legs. Lift your hips skyward too. Keeping hips, knees, and ankles all aligned. So it doesn't matter which expression we take right here. Find what feels comfortable for you, but get a little extra engagement, a little extra lift. Notice, if the inner or outer legs are working a little more. Take one more breath, and then let's walk our hands back underneath the shoulders, rise up to the neutral position so that we can heel toe our feet in, back to hip distance. Find a prop for your hands if need be. Ground the right foot, dorsiflex the left foot, and lift it to the left. And then lower that leg down, other side. Ground left leg, pick up right leg. Keep the toes coming forward, don't let the leg go back. And don't lift to the left either. And then lower that leg down. Bend your knees until your belly's on your thighs, maybe even a little lower. You can send your arms forward, taking a non-habitual yoga mudra. This is for a little bit balance. And then use your strong legs to rise all the way up. Arms overhead. Keep your arms overhead. Find your Tadasana. Hook your thumbs if you like. You can't see my hands here. Hook your thumbs. Send your arms overhead. Get long. Tone your belly. Fold to the right. Keep tugging your thumbs apart so you're broad across your shoulders. Taking a nice side bend here. Come back to center. You can even switch your thumbs if you want. Fold to the left. Back to center. Press your hips forward. Lift your heart. Lift your gaze. Take an extension. And then slowly come back to neutral. Lower your arms and pause. Good job. All right. So let's finish up with a little balance work. 3 balance postures going right into each other. Lower your foot at any time if you need to. Reach out for a prop, a wall, or a chair if necessary. So with feet hips distance apart, let's start in our Utkatasana. Bending the knees, squatting down, lifting your arms, shoulder height or higher, up to you. Take a couple of rounds here. Nice knee strengthener. Good. And then we're going to really focus on one leg as we rise up. So shift the weight to the left leg. You can pick up the right leg. Bring your left leg towards straighter as you lift your right leg to hip height and lower your arms to shoulder height with bent elbows and knees for Balakikasana, crane pose. Ground and lift. Keep the tone to the belly. Calm, easy breath. Lower the leg, lift the leg as much as feels comfortable. Finding soft gaze. Calm, easy breath. One more full breath cycle as you lower your left hand onto your hip, right hand onto the knee. Let it glide down the knee, the shin to take hold of the ankle and draw that leg back behind you for a quadricep stretch, which might feel really nice about now. If you can't grab the foot, you can hold on to a pant leg or put your strap around the ankle, or even just hold it isometrically. Try to keep the knees and the thighs parallel so you feel this nice stretch. So you could even extend the left arm for a little extra balance challenge. Now you can stay here, come in and out of this, but if you'd like to turn this into dancer pose, not a Rajasana, let's do that now. So for me to do that, I'm just gonna change my hand position a little bit, externally rotate my arm and hold on to the top of my foot. I let my thumb press into the arch of my foot. Then I'm gonna start to get that leg, so track the thigh back, the shin back, lift the ball of the foot to the sky. I'll hinge a little bit forward with my torso, but not too much. I want my belly to drop, but my chest to lift. And then I'll bring my arm out, maybe to Chin Mudra, Jana Mudra. And keep lifting the leg, kicking the shin back. Feel a nice opening in the chest, a little extension, which we prepared for. Strong standing leg. One more breath, and then slowly lower your leg. Nice. Take a full breath cycle. Next inhale, let's squat on down. Utkatasana. Hold it here for 3 breath cycles or so. Really engaging the muscles around the knee. When you're ready, place the weight into the right leg, start to pick up the left leg. Bring that right leg towards straighter as your arms go out like a T, Balakikasana. Crane pose, grounding and lifting. And then our right hand lowers to the right hip, left hand to left knee, whoops. And then let that hand track down the shin, take hold of the ankle, bring that leg back behind us, and get a nice quadricep stretch. Enjoy that. Staying here, even bringing the other hand onto the foot, or making your way to Nadarajasana. Changing the hand position if you need, getting your strap if you like. Again, thigh lifts, shin kicks back. You lift from the ball of your foot. So you're feeling a nice opening in the shoulder, and that tension that's created by that lifted leg and the arm, I feel like gives you a lot of stability, like you almost can't fall. You can't, right? Look at your arm is not going to let you fall. One more breath, and then slowly make your way out. Let's take a couple clearing breaths. Big inhale, and exhale it out. Good, and inhale, and exhale it out. Last time, and exhale. Nice work, everyone. Let's come down onto the earth. So you can go right to a supine posture. You can come to seated and then roll down with a little core engagement. Up to you, however you want to get there. Make sure you have a block handy. Oh, and also have your strap handy, just in case you want to use that. Oops, I'm not sure I did it. Okay, good. All right. So now we will do some abdominal work using our blocks. So just take another breath or so to settle in. And then when you're ready, bring your one leg, other leg to the sky. Take your block in its smallest setting and bring it between your inner thighs. So that maybe even brings the legs closer to hip height, hip width. So maybe that's nice. And then see if you can keep activating the legs. So still an opportunity to do some lengthening and strengthening to our quadricep muscles. Let's bring our hands behind our head. It's going to be basically a crunch. And make sure that I like to keep my fingertips just resting on the side of my head so that I don't have a tendency to pull on my neck. And it's really a lift of your torso. So imagine you're just like lifting your heart up to the sky and then lowering. And that's it. So crunch it up. Keep squeezing your block, lifting your legs, and then lift your heart so that you start to work the upper abdominals, the rectus abdominis. So keep just lift. It's just a little lift. Do as many as feels comfortable for you. Keep squeezing the block, lifting, like lifting the balls of your feet towards the sky. Now let's try for 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then let's lower down and pause. Now we're going to try to add a little bit of an oblique action to here. And then we'll add the legs. So from here, keep squeezing your block, lift and kind of lift over towards your right. And then lower down. And then lift and come a little bit slightly over to the left. So we start to work the sides of the abdominals. But try not to pull on the neck. I just wanted us to get the feel for this before we added legs. Keep squeezing your legs. You're lifting and kind of twisting a little bit over to the right side, lowering, lifting, and twisting over to the left. Now, pause here. Lower your legs. Remove the block from between your legs. And we'll lift our legs back up to the sky. Bring your hands back to the crunch position. And then this time, when we lift and twist to the right, we're going to lower our left leg to whatever place we can hover and keep your low back down on the earth. And then bring your leg back up, lower your torso. Twist, lift and twist to the left as you extend and lower right leg. And then come back to neutral. So keep going like that on your own. If you need to bend your legs, feel free to bend. But if you can keep them straight and really engage, extend through the leg, that's great. Make sure your low back stays down on the earth. Now we're going to add on one more thing. So go one more time each side. 1 and 2. Now the next time you twist in one direction, hold it, stay there, hold, and pulse the extended leg. Pulse, 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 pulse. Oh yeah. Pulse, 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 pulse. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower your torso, lift the leg back to neutral. Take a moment. Other side. Lift up, twist, extend the opposite leg. Low back's pressing down, and you're pulsing with that extended leg. Pulse, 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 pulse. Keep going, feels good. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Back to neutral. One more time, each side. You got this. Peeling up, low back down, lowering extended leg, and pulse it. And then come back up, lower head and shoulders. Last time, other side. Lift, twist, lower opposite leg, and pulse it. Make sure low back is down. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower that leg, lower the other leg, lower your head and shoulders. Release your arms overhead, reach up through fingers, down through toes, get a big stretch in your belly. Ah, that feels good. Stretch that out. And release. Do that a few times just to stretch out the abdominal wall. Even feel the skin on your belly just completely stretch out. And release. One more time. Stretch, stretch, stretch. And then release. Good job. Let's sweep our arms by our sides, bend our knees, plant our feet together. Plant your feet on the earth. Take a moment here. Good. And then you can bring your right knee in towards your chest. If you want, you can use your strap and we'll extend the leg. So you can extend your left leg down, maybe right leg to sky, maybe using your strap if you like to get a little stretch. You can add flexion to the foot, rotation to your ankle. And then with the right leg straight or bent, let's bring it across the body for a rotation. You can extend right arm and gaze. Get a nice twist here. A little stretch for the glutes and the outer hip. And then come back to center. Maybe give that leg a little bit more of a stretch. Even if you're bending your knees, squeeze it in, or if your leg is extended, pull it in. And then start to slowly release, arms by your sides. Lower that leg down to the earth. And then let that leg drop out. Notice how that feels. Other side. So we'll start by pulling the left knee in, giving it a squeeze. You can stay here and add the flexion and rotation to your ankle, or you could extend the leg skyward and do the same. Now, you can slowly guide your left leg or knee to the right as your left arm and gaze go to the left. Good. And then slowly bring your leg and gaze back to center. Give it one more squeeze. And then slowly lower your leg to the earth, letting that leg drop out. Notice how that side feels now. Take a big inhale. And exhale it out. And be grounding each half of your pelvis. Even lifting your shoulders, drawing your shoulder blades together as you extend your arms, palms spin up to the sky. Feel the back of your head ground onto the earth. Maybe rock your head side to side. Take a big inhale here and exhale it out. Parting your jaw. Releasing the tongue from the roof of your mouth. And take one more willful inhale. And then exhale it out as you soften your breath and float here, fully supported by the earth, to integrate our practice and absorb the Shanti, the peace of yoga.
The universe is abundant. Watch out for greed. Greed for money, for resources, for love. Greed can slowly corrupt the heart. Greed can slowly take over our lives. Greed and fear can block our connection with the universe and with universal love. Let go of fears of deprivation, of doing without, that haunt you from the past. Having more and more won't solve your problem. If you want, you need to heal your fears. Look around with love at your life and the people in it. If you open your heart and look without fear, you may see that you have enough now. Go back to your heart. Let love, not fear and greed, lead the way. Be led by your desire to joyfully serve, by the desire to bring your gifts, your healing, your comforts and talents to others. Go back to your heart as often as you need, and remember what is honorable and true. Say to those you love, "This is what I shall give, and I'll give it because my heart leads me to do so." The universe is abundant. Take your part, take your place in universal love. Go back to your heart, give from the heart, and the universe will respond in kind. So allow your breath to deepen. Gently rock your head from side to side. Bring movement to fingers and toes. Maybe rotations to wrists and ankles. And then sweep your arms overhead, taking a big stretch again. Reaching from fingers to toes. And exhale and release. If you like, you can give your legs a squeeze. And then with bent or straight legs, you can roll to right side. Pausing for a moment. And when you're ready, you can use your bottom elbow and top hand to help you rise up slowly, bringing your head up last to a comfortable seat, connecting sits bones to earth, lengthening through crown of head, drawing hands together at heart center, and bowing your head into your heart in gratitude. And then we'll lift our gaze and seal our practice by joining our voices in the eternal sound of Om. The divine light in me honors the divine light in you. Namaste.